everybody? Howdy, Dabby, and welcome to 55. How are y'all tonight? Coming at 1 minute after 8 on the East Coast on another wonderful Saturday, week 3 of Saturday action. Although it's the 4th week of college football because of the little weird thing that somebody developed a few years ago called Week Zero. Not to be confused with Pepsi Zero, Coke Zero, or any other type of zero, or even Mountain Dew Zero, which, hey, our co-host tonight, JT Kurt. Howdy.
Hail.
Hey.
On this show, I think I'm the zero, you're the hero. So, continuing with that theme of heroes.
No stream is complete.
Who isn't a good zero?
Who's that?
The Michigan number 0.
Well, I'll tell you,
there's a Michigan player number 0. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, all good co-host, all good hosts need a good zero co-host that helps make them look good, and you do that, JT. Appreciate it so much. But hey, I tell you what, that whole zero thing was is
the full unleaded Mountain Dew, and I'm the 0.
Yeah, folks, because I
think we have some delay going on here, Dadman.
You really? Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. I can hear you. I think we're just both delayed and talking over each other.
Yeah, it's weird how that's happening tonight. So, but yeah, well, we'll try to work through it. One time, Hungry and I had to do it where he had to listen to the stream to be able to respond. It was so off. That was a fun night. That was a fun night. But hey, I just stumbled upon that week 0 introduction by complete chance. How about that?
Yeah.
So awesome. How about tell us, what are you drinking tonight?
Well,
I get a tweet
I thought I would do an on-air Mountain Dew 0 mystery flavor for 2024.
Ooh.
It is that sickly white, kind of white clear color that they're so famous for. And
really?
Here we go. I'm going to open it up, and we'll do an on-the-air instant review, right? Okay, there we go. That's proof that I haven't been doing anything here. Filling it up into a nice pint glass with some ice in there. Standard fizz, as you would expect. And here we go. Wow.
What is it?
I cannot identify it. It's got let me have another taste.
Okay. Wow, that's stunning. Wow, that's interesting.
I have no idea what this is. It's almost like a raspberry, but it's not. Almost like a blue raspberry.
Really?
Gosh, I need to drink more of it.
Wow. I tell you, sometimes those sodas grow on you because I've done some of those before. The worst one I think that Ang and I had was baking soda. You'd think baking soda would be good. Not baking soda. No, the white powder. No, it was a supposed liquid soft drink called bacon flavor soda. And Ang got sick after it was about to come back up later. So, and that was after having ranch dressing.
Oh, no.
Drink. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So your blue raspberry
I
still
don't know
working.
what it is, Dad, man. I think it's blue raspberry, but it's also kind of like a candy corn flavor.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Wow.
We're gonna have to get you on a stream taste test that now and see if you can identify it, because I sure can't. I mean, it's not bad. I'm definitely going to drink the whole thing.
It's a Mountain Dew 0 mystery flavor.
Yeah. Well, they have the full unleaded version, or the full leaded version, and the 0 version. So if you wanted,
I got to do the right. I got to do I need to avoid the sugar. But yeah, hey, Mrs., we may have to do another drink stream sometime soon. So
this is true. This is true.
I don't think we've done that yet. I think we've actually done food streams, tasting streams, and stuff like that, but I don't think we've done a drink stream. But that'd be interesting. You come up with a good idea. So,
well, hey, and the only reason I really bring it up is football. Tailgating is an integral part of football, so you always have to have a bevy of different beverages. Something of soda pops, So yeah, I'm not very alliterative this evening. I apologize, but anyway, you have to have some drinks that are good for people to have, whether that's alcoholic or non, right? And
yeah, exactly.
Mountain Dew is one of those, usually some flavor of Mountain Dew. So I thought, hey, let's try this baby out. But hey, we're here to talk football, aren't we, Dad?
Exactly. We got 8 people watching, 7 on the YouTube side. So hit that like and subscribe. And we actually are up to 670 subscribers. Let's get 700 and we'll do something. We'll figure something out to do for celebrating. We got 2. We got 1 on the Twitch side too. Let me go over there. We got somebody actually over there. 8 watching. Starter Poopus Q Bourbon's here first. Hello, humans and other critters. And hail to OC Dobbins. Roll Tide. If only Bucky was here to say Roll Tide, I might have to get her to record that. So whenever OC shows up, we got at least one person saying Roll Tide. So.
War Eagle for me. But hey,
yeah.
I'm a horse in that race.
There you go. Great. JT Kirk here. The missus is here lurking. Hey, working on Monday morning show. Also, don't forget to hit, if you can get her link in there for me real quick, JT. Her show Monday to Friday right now, 10 a.m. for your daily dose of positivity. Make sure you check her out, her Ko-Fi account on Ko-Fi.com too, if you want to support her. Until we get the house organized, we have less than 2 months for my mom's house. We're at the final stages on that. We moved my mom's china cabinet over to our house today, which was fun and an adventure, but we got it done. Stuff starting to go in there and take shape. It's been really, really interesting and a really, really day for that. So, but yeah, it got a lot done and it's kind of getting towards we're at the end of things. And
do you feel like you played a game of football after moving that thing?
And down 4 stairs, yes, regular size stairs. We had the 2 of us, yes. Fortunately, we didn't have to take it apart. It was one of those 2-piece ones, but it's like from the 1950s or 40s, 60s. So it was old. Yeah. It was old.
It's heavy. Yep. Heavy, yeah.
Yep. But hey, that's why you have a Sienna van that have moved businesses and people multiple times. Nice. And Stunning's here. What's a Hawk's favorite sport? Hockey. Nice, Stunning. Oi.
What do you call it? What do you call it when the Dolphins quarterback plays the Hawks? Hawk Tua.
Oh God, why did you do that? Please, JT. We have a certain standard of professionalism around here.
We do.
Here. That's a timeout. Unsportsmanlike conduct for that.
Crackback, 15 yards.
Oh, that's your first unsportsmanlike conduct warning of the stream. So.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God! So good to see you, Stunning. Good to see you, Wade. Thanks for being here. And here's the Mrs. Channel here too. Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. So thank you. And Wade is saying hello to the YouTube side from the Twitch side. Yeah. So let's, without further ado, take a look at the ongoing games at the moment involving top 25 ranked teams. With 9 minutes left in the third quarter, Miami Hurricanes are up 38-0 on Ball State. Ole Miss went kind of a struggle here, I think. Yeah. Close to halftime, only up on Wake Forest 23-3. It is a road game, but 20 points right out of the gate, but only a field goal in the second quarter.
Well, to be fair, Wake Forest has had good teams in the past, so maybe this is one of those.
Yes, and if you don't, and if, for all you spurned DC people, it's carried on the CW network. CW's gotten in big into sports this year. Did you realize that, JT?
I have. You know, when I try go looking for my MSU Spartans and they're never on free TV anymore, I'm like, oh, wait, the CW's got a game? They couldn't even get the Spartans on the CW? But yeah, I've seen that.
No love for the Big 12. No love for any other conference but the SEC. So, but hey, we are doing a national white show tonight, so we will look at scores from all around the country. Texas is up on UT San Antonio on the Roadrunners 28-7. Georgia is still scoreless with Kentucky, 0-0 with 5.5 left in the first quarter. I expected that game to be over already, but not. Nebraska's struggling with Northern Iowa at home. Nebraska finally gets in top 25, up 7-3. Northern Iowa has had a history of pulling a few upsets over the years, and we'll see. Watch this game as it goes. Tennessee on Rocky Top is up already on Kent State 7-0.
Rocket Top.
There you go. Finals around the top 25. Utah goes to Utah State, wins 38-21. Alabama, and we will come back and look at some of these games in a little more detail. Alabama easily dispatches Wisconsin. It was a little bit of a struggle early on, but pulls away 21 in the first, 21 in the second half, wins 42-10.
Sorry, Lisa.
Jalen Miller got accounted for 5 touchdowns. So we'll look into the numbers on that one. At a game that Bucky actually was calling for Boston College to upset Missouri. This game was actually Boston College was up early in this game, but Missouri comes back, pulls ahead, wins 27-21. Oregon, after 2 weeks of struggling against Sisters of the Poor games, and that's really what they do. This is this shows how pitiful Oregon State is. They're just like a high school team. The Pac-12 is just a conference in name only. We may talk about expansion if we have time a little bit coming up. Oregon puts away the Beavers after a slow start, 49-14, held the Beavers scoreless in the second half. They actually were challenged by Idaho 2 weeks ago. And then a game last week, Oregon was pushed much better than the Beavers did. So, hey, of course, other routes, Oklahoma State beats Tulsa 45-10. Oklahoma wins over Tulane 34-19. In a game that was back and forth, probably the best game of the day. Yes, stunning.
Stunning. Wow. Yeah, that's a brave comment.
And that's okay. See, that meets my standards of decorum for our show. It doesn't throw it at somebody and all that, because there's all kinds of things with the names of these teams and all out there that you can't just pass by. We got Bucky come up about I will never look at the under center exchange again after the spooning thing, and all that stuff. But hey, the game of the day, LSU comes back and rallies to beat South Carolina on the road 36-33.
Oh.
I got a feeling Bucky may beat me this
week.
I think Bucky may beat me this week because I think Bucky took LSU in this game. Looking back at it, we'll have to see.
I took the Gamecocks that game. When I was commenting in your Wednesday show. So I definitely got that one wrong, but it was close, so I don't feel that bad about it. But.
We'll look at it again too and see how it is, because South Carolina had this game in hand at first. It seemed like South Carolina was going to put them away, taking advantage of LSU's defense, but LSU stayed the course, got there. Lemon pie. Hello, citrus. Yes, Buddy Hepburn, if we have time, we're going to touch on that a little bit. It's actually, JT, I don't know if you heard about the expansion, but right now it's going to be, everybody in it has the word name state in it. Michigan State could join it. Yeah. Wait till you see it. Wait till you see it. But hey, thank you for that again for the reminder on that, buddy. Michigan, your old friend, ends up in a bit of a struggle near the end, beating Arkansas State 28-18.
They took the poo-poo platter to bed with them this week, but hey, they still came out with a W. So
they're still better than Florida.
Yes.
Well, which I'll hold on that to the Florida. And then of course the last top 25 game, your love team, Notre Dame, ends up crushing Purdue. Toot. Boiler up. Well, they didn't boil her up. They melted down 66-7. Notre Dame rolls away with that game.
Oh, I tell you what, Dad, man, you got to get on the radio doing these highlights. I'm just cracking up over here every single time.
About what?
Just making fun of Purdue and all these schools. You got like a nickname or a statement for every single one of them.
Oh, so you're talking about me, my jokes. Great. Oh,
yeah. I'm saying you got to get on the radio and do these. Yeah,
well, folks,
swerving off.
Yeah. Well, folks, share it out on YouTube. Go hit all the Pester big channels. Bring everybody in. We'll have 1,000 people listen to my jokes then. But you'll have to be here with me, and maybe one day we'll get Bucky and you together. So how about that?
Oh, geez. Well, that could get ugly. I don't know. If you're talking standards, this could get in the gutter real quick. You might have to hire a ref or somebody to make sure we don't come within 25 miles of each other. Yeah.
Well, and to wrap up the top 25 action, there was a game Friday night. Arizona 20th ranked goes on the road to Kansas State, but loses. Kansas State walks away with a 31-7 blowout of Arizona, who actually had turned some heads early on, but the Wildcats, after a scare at Tulane last week, do pull out the win. JT, any thoughts on any of these early top 25 games before we look at the non-top 25 games?
I was hoping that Purdue would come out a lot stronger than they did, because I don't think they really came out at all, which was sad. I wanted them to give Notre Dame a run for their money at least. I mean, I still thought Notre Dame would win, but I have so many games that are considered Big Ten games now to watch and think about that it's tough to keep everybody straight. But yeah, no, let's get into some of these more. I had no surprises really, other than the Gamecocks game was kind of an upset. But
and by the way, with 13 seconds left in the second quarter, Ole Miss is now up 23-6. Wake Forest has tacked on a field goal near the end of halftime, so it's still a 17-point game. So, all right, well, let's go through the games that were finished. There's a lot of games, like we said, they're still going on. We'll see if Vanderbilt is playing now. Vanderbilt's playing now. Let's see what they do at Georgia State. See if they can move to 3-0. Will they be in the top 25 this week? You never know.
I'd love to see that.
That would be interesting. Well, we got some Vanderbilt fans around and things. So, all right. In a game that has finally gone final, dead man walking. How long will he survive in friggin' Gainesville? A&M comes in with a friggin' redshirt freshman quarterback, kicks the Gators' ass up and down the field for the very first play of the game. Lackluster defense, softer than toilet paper in the rain. 33-20, the Aggies go on the road, assert domination. The swamp is not the swamp anymore. It is a puddle with a team like this. No excitement, no life coming out of this game today. And yes, I know I didn't start with the Alabama game. I know I didn't start with higher ranked games, but this is finally just going final. This is how bad this team is disrespected. Last week when Oregon State was in a game, or UTEP and Nebraska, they did come back to the game and they showed it. That type of, you had to actually sit with a game that was that was in doubt and delayed the next game. There was still about 8 minutes left this game. What does ABC do? Screw you, Florida. I'm going home. Dumps Florida. Goes to Georgia, Kentucky. That's how bad it is. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If something doesn't happen tomorrow, I don't know when something will happen. So,
and it stings even more because I didn't realize this was a conference game until the game was over. I was like, oh crap, A&M is in the SEC now. That makes it even worse because now you're at the bottom of the conference. I mean, most teams have played what? 2 conference games, 1 conference game, no conference game. So yeah, you're going to get sorted in the bottom right away. You have plenty of time to climb back up, but that looks stinky. Right.
Well, dude, it just gets no better from here. They get to play, I think, UCF next or soon, which UCF was quarterbacked by KJ Jefferson, who played at Arkansas last year, who ran right through this defense last year.
Well, next is at Mississippi State. So
I would agree with this. Yes. Let's join the Pac-12. We might have a chance to win then. But yeah. And what did I say in my previews? I didn't go as bad. I was too naively happy this year with the Gators. I look for the Gators to lose in Starkville. I will not pick them in Starkville. They have always, even the only time that they played well in Starkville was when Tebow was around. That's how long it is. They've gone into Starkville with good teams, solid teams that just went there and laid an egg. So,
you think they have any chance in Tallahassee this year?
Possibly. I mean, look, FSU starts 0-3. We'll talk a little bit more about them coming up a little bit. But sorry for that rant about that. But still, seriously, they're down 20-0 at halftime. This game was not that close. Even 33-20 was mostly garbage touchdowns.
Well, they put up was it 2 field goals at the end?
Well, here's one 20-7. Okay. Florida scores coming out of halftime, pulls it 20-7. You think that maybe we got a chance? Nope. Second play on the next drive with 11 minutes in the third quarter. 73-yard touchdown pass for Texas A&M. So there it goes. And then Graham Mertz pick 6. So it's like, And then Florida adds 2 touchdowns late to make it from 33-7 to 33-20.
Well, y'all have no running game. That's really a big problem here.
Looking
at the top 2 receivers, or top 2 rushers. Treyon Webb, 37 yards. Jacoby Jackson, 23. And then everybody else is single digits or negative. Then you look at the other side of the ball. Texas A&M, Le'Veon Moss, on 110, just himself. Marcel Reed, 83. Amari Daniels, 68. I mean, it's you take 4th place as your top rusher in that game.
Over 5.5 yards a carry for Texas A&M. I tell you, this is the problem with this team. This defense has sucked for 3 years. It is softer than toilet paper, and has been garbage ever since this guy got here. It's never improved. It's gotten progressively worse over 2 years. Everybody's enamored with his offense, but this offense is so pedestrian. Even it is so bad this week. Even the local talk show people here were making fun of well, maybe it was last week before Sanford. They were making fun of the Napier offense of the clap, clap, shift. Clap, clap, shift. It's like clap on the clapper. I mean, it's like even the talk show hosts that don't like people being fired were mocking him and saying something needs to be done. Again, you look at him; he looked like dead man walking on the sideline. There's no passion. There's no injury. There's no energy. There's nobody gets mad. The head ball coach called that out 2 weeks ago. You got to do something, you know. But it's, you know, and like you said, look at the pathetic numbers. I mean, and I tell you, one of the problems that they have, the star running back, Montrell Johnson, 7 carries for -7 yards. A guy that came with Napier from Louisiana. This is a guy that they kept insisting had to be the friggin' starting quarterback. Our best running back, our best playmaker last year, Trevor Etienne, left Gainesville, went to the University of Georgia, where he could play more. I don't think he is, because Georgia has some damn good running backs without him. But still, you got that playmaker. You feed him the ball and all this. But and Montrell's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. But this line is so bad right now. It can't pass protect. It cannot run block. I mean, we saw it against Miami. They were being blown 5 yards back into the backfield on a play. They were not moving the ball forward. And of course, you know, everybody now, you get to see Marcel Reed, a redshirt freshman, making his first start, although he did play in a bowl game last year. First start of the season, 11-17, 178, very efficient, had a damn good arm, very accurate. 2 touchdowns, no picks, no turnovers. Look at the Gator quarterbacks. Lagway, and everybody said we're second coming because they beat Sanford under 50%, under 10 yards of completion, 2 picks.
Yep.
You know, this is the problem with this team right now, and it's not going to get better. I don't know how you fix this mess.
Well, and you look, in A&M did not fear the defense at all, because you run that 55 carries, 55. More than double what Florida was doing. I mean, they didn't care, because they knew they could just do whatever they wanted against that Florida defense.
JT, I know you didn't watch the game, but it was. It was just like nobody. I mean, they were blowing holes, especially in the second half, or near the end of the first half. This team has been so soft, and it's really good. To me, everybody's so focused on the offensive problems. Well, their offense was not bad the last 2 years. The problem to me has been this defense, and it's gotten no better because he keeps hiring these young, no-name defensive coordinators. I believe now that there's co-defensive coordinators, and it's like,
how do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
You do like paper, scissors, rock or something for each play?
Well, that's how Bucky.
I do all the first downs. You do all the second downs.
Well, sometimes it works, because Bucky did that with picking with her husband this week.
Well, true.
Rock, paper, scissors on picking again. But we're talking about running a football team, not making picks. So anyway, folks, well, that's enough on that. But seriously, JT, if you were, let's see, well, I'm trying to figure out if you were, put you as a booster, or if you were a Florida fan.
My wallet would be closed.
And see, they've had people refusing to donate because of this situation. I want to pose a question for 2 angles. If you were a fan, what do you say, hire or fire? And if you're in the administration and you're thinking about recruits out there and that stuff, would you hire or fire?
Let's see. How long has the athletic director been around?
About 5 or 6 years, and he's getting pressure because he's made several bad football hires now.
Fire them both. Fire them both. Fire the athletic director now. Right now, leave the coaching for another few games, and then pick another athletic director. And so that way you've already got somebody in place now. And then at the end of the season, if you haven't already fired the coach, you fire the coach.
Wow. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I'm not playing around. I've seen this happen at Michigan State. You don't play around. You get rid of them.
If you want to be relevant, because what has happened now, Florida's in a conference with 16 teams. Texas, Oklahoma coming. We didn't bring in Sisters of the Poor. We brought in legitimate big national contending teams. All you do is fall further into irrelevancy. That even you're competing with Vanderbilt and Kentucky to stay out of the bottom. I mean, hell, Missouri is actually doing very well. Who would have ever thought the University of Missouri would have a better team than the University of Florida?
But you need a different athletic director too, because that's where a lot of the politics and the salary comes in for these guys, and they pick the next coach. And if you've got somebody that's made bad coach picking decisions and maybe not in the favor of the university contracts for these coaches, you need to get rid of them first. So I would say get rid of the athletic director this week, get somebody new in place. So by the end of the season, you know who's picking the next coach. But right now, I would say you don't lose games like this. And yeah.
Well, guess what, JT? It sounds like you've listened to my local sports talk radio down here this week, because that has been a very popular opinion. And as the first quarter ends, we have an upset alert. Believe it or not, Kentucky 3, Georgia 0 as the first quarter ends. Wow. All right, the night is still young. Chief Judge Finity, welcome. Welcome, sir. Great to see you here. I don't know if you like football, if you have a great university that you follow, but hey, if you do, say what it is. I will see if there's a score for them. But great to have you tonight, Chief Judge Finity. It's like rugby. Well, yeah, it's kind of like rugby, but it's American. How about that? That's the best way I can say it. But yes, it's sort of like rugby, except we have more rules, more stoppages. It's like a combination of soccer and rugby, I would say. And if you know Australian football, then it's a lot like that. All right, well, let's go through. Let's look at the Alabama-Wisconsin game. Number 4, Alabama goes on the road today, playing in a SEC Big Ten matchup here. No surprise. Alabama, because like I say, I have a big distrust of Wisconsin, period, on offense. They're just a step above Iowa, JT. But Alabama goes on there, wins 42-10. It's just we had a one-sided game. Alabama rolls up 470 yards of offense. Even though Wisconsin, here's the thing about ball control for like Wisconsin, only 290 yards, but they had the ball for 34 minutes to Alabama's 26 minutes. But again, where do you get on the scoreboard? Looking stats, Jalen Milroy was 12 of 17 for 196 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. He also ran for 75 yards, ran for 2 touchdowns, and accounting for 5 touchdowns, while Jam Miller runs for 71 yards and a touchdown. Ty Simpson, the backup quarterback, got in for 4 or 5 passes for Bama. That's how bad it was for Arkansas. Tyler Van Dyke, the starter, to transfer from Miami. This is part of the problem. He was 5 of 5, but he only threw
4 or 5. Yeah.
But he only threw for 16 yards. So it's
Ty Simpson?
Tyler Van Dyke. No.
Oh,
Tyler
sorry, Van Dyke. I'm sorry. I thought you meant Simpson.
No. Tyler Van Dyke. The Wisconsin. This is the whole funny thing is I've always bashed Wisconsin quarterbacks. We have a Wisconsin reject with Graham Mertz, who played well last year. But Tyler Van Dyke threw for only 16 yards on 5 completions. Braden Locke came in 13 of 26, 125 yards with a touchdown. I kept checking on this game, but I had no interest to watch it after I saw the score. And hey, Chief Judge Infinity said, I once lived in Florida, so apparently my team is the Dolphins. So he chooses the Dolphins over the Jaguars and the Buccaneers. That's cool.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting pick. I mean, well, I was born in Orlando, so I guess Tampa Bay, or maybe I get to pick the Jags. I don't know.
Usually Orlando gets shipped to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get a ship to Jacksonville for broadcast coverage. No, I mean, because right. Everybody wants to, especially on the CBS that has the ABC, the AFC contracts. They'd rather watch Dolphin games, not the Jaguars. So, but yeah. Oh, and the Wills. Don't get close to Snorapupus. That's he might get two on two different types of animals he might want to have for dinner. Poopy. All right. So JD, there's not much we can say about this game. But congrats to you, Alabama fans. And the good thing that really it shows you patience with a player can help, though. Jalen Milroe has really developed in 2 years.
Yeah, and the other thing is, everybody was concerned with Saban leaving if Alabama was going to be able to reload, and it looks like they probably are, starting off 3-0. This Badger team is not the best. They weren't rated going into this matchup, and I don't see how they will be unless they do some serious damage down, through their schedule. But 3 points in the first half, 7 points in the second half. 3-0, 7-0, that says you've got some big time problems with your offense. And so I'm just hoping that Wisconsin, they give Michigan State fits all the time, and they give Michigan fits all the time. I just want to see them lose. I don't like the team. Sorry, Lisa. I do not like that team.
Yeah.
Mostly because they're good, and they've wrecked Michigan State's chances so many years of winning the Big Ten. So yeah.
Oh my God, JT, you said it. Now I don't know how they did this, because it's overall. But here, Florida, even though they're 0-1 in the conference like Kentucky, they got them at the bottom.
Oh, that's because that's how they sort.
I know, but still, it's like reality. Gator fans, look at it. Sorry.
Michigan had that problem last week. They lost that game in Texas, so they were all the way at the bottom. And Bucky, who was at the top? Who was at the top of the whole conference last Saturday? Oh, it was Michigan State. It was. Oh, okay. Just wanted to help you out there, Bucky, if you're listening. So
yeah, you get to brag tonight. So well, let's move on to another game because there's really not much to say with it. And a game of the day that was really it was closer. It was interesting early in the game. You thought you could have an upset. It ended up being a really good game both ways. Boston College, 24th ranked. They should not fall out of the top 25 after this performance. They went on the road to play at Missouri, which can be a tough place to play. 6th ranked Tigers defend the home turf, win this game 27-21. Basically, BC had a 14-3 lead early in the second quarter, followed by a comeback. Missouri takes a 17-14 lead into the locker room. Ends up pulling away 27-14, a late touchdown for Boston College, but still not enough time. Did not get the ball back to be able to mount a final drive. So Missouri defends his home turf against Boston College, who has been very impressive this year. We got to see them on Labor Day weekend against FSU, pulling off the big upset that they had there. For BC, Thomas Castaneos was 16-28, throwing for 249 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 picks. That's the problem when you play an SEC team on the road when you start turning the ball over. So, of course, the Boston College, which is interesting. Boston College did this through the air more than they did against FSU. Against FSU, they had a lot of running, they took advantage of FSU's deficient defensive line play. Today, Boston College was held to only 49 yards rushing by Missouri. While Missouri on offense, Brady Cook was 21-30 for 264 yards. A touchdown pass to Luther Burton III, who had 6 catches for 117 yards. Nate Noel ran the ball for 121 yards for Missouri as they win a game. Statistically, it looks like this should have been a blowout or not as good of a game, but it really was an entertaining game towards the end. JT, have you been able to see any Boston College or Missouri this year?
I have not. Well, I have not seen any Boston College this year, but I have seen a little bit of Missouri this year, and I picked them to win this week. Not just because they had a higher number, but I really like that team. I thought they kind of got just end of the season last year was a little unfair to them. But so I'm a Tigers fan. I am not like buying their clothes or anything, but I like the team, and I would expect them to move up this week if they could into the top 5. I thought that this game maybe wasn't going to be as close as it was, but I think it was definitely a good showing for both teams. I think Boston College is super respectable too, and they play Michigan State next week in Boston. So that's not going to be a great game for me to look at anymore. I think Boston College is a tough school, but this is great for Missouri to go 3-0 and beat a ranked team like that, even though it was at home and not on the road. You don't get that feather in your cap. I still liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So the rushing yards, I think for both teams was kind of just, well, for Boston College, that was their weakness. 49 total rushing yards.
Yeah.
176 is respectable for Missouri, right? But both of these teams just look like a throw first team.
Yeah, well, usually Boston College tries to run the ball more. That's what, when they did well against FSU, that's what they did. They were able to mix the run up to make the pass more effective. And I think they prefer to run first, but this was a game that apparently the situation dictated more passing because they were held to under 2 yards of carry in this game. So, not that they didn't try.
Yeah, right.
But, no. All right. Well, let's move on. If Wade's here, he'll be at least happy. We know he doesn't. His Colorado team is, I believe they're playing later tonight. That's why I've not been talking Colorado right now. I'm looking more back, and we'll look forward to some of the games tonight as we can. But hey, the Oregon Ducks kill the Beavers. Hey, be kind to Beavers. 49-14, the Ducks, in a game that was sort of close early, and it had 22-14. But then Dylan Gabriel leads Oregon to 27 points in the second half. As you can see, 49-14. He throws for almost 300 yards. And it's just a dominating performance in the second half. This is another former UCF Oklahoma transfer. I tell you, JT, that's one of the weirdest things this year is watching all these players now having in the NIL and the transfer portals, the amount of transfer moving around and stuff. That's why I don't think you have to do this crap that Napier started 3 years ago in Gainesville, where you have to do this slow rebuild crap. You can build your team with the right competent coach. Look at Bill O'Brien, what he's doing in Boston College. It's like you reload and recharge. I love the old days of college football. I miss it. I do.
Well,
but if you want to be competitive, you've got to. Do you want to live in the old ways, or do you want to be competitive? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure. And I think what you're going to see sort out over the next 5 years, the next 3 years especially, is this distribution of coaches that might have been well suited for the old style of doing things and maybe the old rebuild method, and on one side, and then your big bell curve in the middle, and then you're going to see some coaches that are just excellent with some great staff on how to pick up players in this transfer portal, right? And so unfortunately for Florida, I think you might be on the to the left of that bell curve. And so what they should be looking to is to do something like some of these other teams get in here where you do find the good players out of the portal. I would be interested to see, though, after 5 years, the performance of these players that have gone through the portal, to see what quality you actually get out of a player that moves, to see if it's any better, worse, or the same as players that stick around, right? Because you might be chasing after something that doesn't really matter, but we don't know yet. It may not be a productive use of your time to go through the portal, or it could be great for you. But again, that's part and parcel with having a good coach, like you were saying.
Yep. No, I agree. I understand. It's like what's happening in Tallahassee is they picked the wrong people to pay this year. They picked the wrong players to come in and stuff like that. That type of thing. It's you got the winners and the losers, and like anything else, your business decisions backfire. And like last 2 years, FSU did great with who they brought in. They were dominant. They were undefeated last regular season. But then this year they bring in quarterback from Oregon State who's not been impressive, and very underwhelming, and they're frustrated. So, you have good decisions, bad decisions, and you're not guaranteed to win every time you do it. So
exactly. I just like that this Big Ten team won, if that's even a thing anymore. I don't know. This is so crazy with Oregon and the Big Ten. I still can't get used to that.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, let's move on to another game. Like I said, the game of the year. Not game of the year, game of the week. LSU goes on the road and pulls out and escapes from the South Carolina Gamecocks 36-33. This was a wild game to watch. It just big plays featured, especially by South Carolina against the LSU defense, which has been known as its weak spot. LSU held the ball for 32 minutes to 27 minutes for South Carolina. 417 yards for LSU, 398 yards for South Carolina. Total offense. But where we see South Carolina had a 75-yard run by Lenore Sellers for a touchdown. Raheem Sanders, 66-yard touchdown run. So you had all these things. And I think our good old friends, the 2-point conversions, played roles in this game, because you see at least 3 times between the two teams that we have failed 2-point conversions and stuff. So,
and you also had 4 fumbles for the Gamecocks. Yes. I mean, I don't think that's how you win a football game, unfortunately. Gosh, that's so painful and so sad to see 4 fumbles, because that's player discipline.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you're like, are you serious? Are you serious? You gave up the ball 4 times. Yeah. They're going to be hard on the team coming into practice on Monday morning.
How about them Gators? Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Atwood. Yes. But Garrett Nussmeier for LSU actually held them together, threw for 285 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick on the day. Caden Durham for LSU had 2 rushing touchdowns. So just a battle of patience. Lenore Sellers with 9 of 16, 113 yards. South Carolina was very efficient in this game, but they ended up having to go to Robbie Ashford to play quarterback 2 at times for 2 for 4, 42 yards. This is a game that South Carolina should be proud of, but it's one of those
especially Raheem Sanders.
Yeah.
Look at those rushing yards that he had, 143 just on his own, 7.5 yards a carry, and then you have Sellers 8.8 yards a carry.
Yeah,
those are awesome numbers.
8.8. Yes, exactly. It's so. But then they look at LSU running Caden Durham at almost 9 yards a carry. So you got it. There's a lot there. It really it's in the numbers. So hey, Simply Steve. Hey. 4 fumbles. Oof. Just think how blown I would have had against a better team. Yeah. Yeah.
This is great. This is great, this win, Dadman, because it's going to keep Brian Kelly in Louisiana for another year.
You think? You think? I've actually heard his name possibly associated. There's rumors that maybe he's looking around elsewhere in the SEC. Yeah, so
that's interesting. The SEC has these coaches that move around to each other's schools. The Big Ten, the old Big Ten, you would never see that. Have a coach go from like Michigan to Ohio State. That would be unthinkable. Or Michigan State to Ohio State would be absolutely unthinkable. And then the SEC, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go play for Arkansas. Then I'm going to play for Ole Miss, and then LSU, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Difference in culture.
Yeah. All right. So, hey. All right. Well, that goes with that game, folks. I tell you, if that's one of those that you might see on the replay, but it's kind of like, dang it, why did I miss it live? Because it truly was one of I thought South Carolina was going to blow them off. South Carolina jumped out to 17-0 lead. But then this is part of chipping away, LSU pulled away the 24-16 at the half. Then a quiet third quarter, LSU gets a touchdown, and then the second half, South Carolina has to settle for a field goal. Actually, one of the key parts was in the fourth quarter. With the game 30-29, LSU committed a turnover deep in its territory, but they held South Carolina to a field goal on a very short field. Defensive stands, because they held them 4 plays, 0 yards for South Carolina. So they had to kick a 42-yard field goal, which allowed the opening still to come back for the game-winning touchdown with LSU with 1:12 left in the game. So, all right. Well, let's take a look at some of the other games around the country real quick while we've got time. The time is flying. It always does.
It is.
Because I want to get through. There aren't so many great games around. If you have teams that you like, let me know, and we'll see if we can have time. We're going to skip Michigan because that looking at that real quick. Well, I want to get to the Memphis FSU game though real quick.
Sure.
Because this is a game instead of watching Alabama, Wisconsin, I got into this game. So Memphis would not go away. Memphis gave FSU many chances to win this game. This game should have been a lot more secured by Memphis earlier on, but they didn't. FSU falls to 0-3 after starting the season at number 1. So as a Gator fan, this helps you. This helps you make your football season better. So in this, again, Mike Norvell goes for 2 points. They're down 20-9 in the third quarter. Mike Norvell goes for 2 points. You're at 20-11. Why do you go for 2 to pull to within 9?
Because you're still a 2-score game, no matter what, right?
Right.
That 1 point makes no difference for you.
Not there. It's not like you're pulling to 7 or 8. If you pull to 8 to make it anyway.
What you need to do in these. Anyway, my opinion on this, what you need to do is get the point from the extra points, and then at the end of the game, if you need a 2-point conversion to tie it or win it, then you go for it. You don't eliminate yourself from a potential later in the game in the first half.
You don't chase points. You don't chase points. Yeah,
exactly.
It's definitely a bad look for the ACC when they're supposed to be the class of it. So FSU was very sluggish in this game. Memphis only gained 337 yards, but had the ball for 36 minutes. FSU committed 3 turnovers, only had 238 yards on about 24 minutes of possession. Look, Memphis is quarterback Seth Hannigan, who's horrible. His numbers are 25, 38, 272, 2 touchdowns and a pick, but he botched a 4th down throw. He threw a bad ball behind a receiver that was picked off. It just was like, if they had a better quarterback, they would have blown FSU way out of this game a lot earlier. DJU, who FSU fans are not happy with, another very pedestrian 16-30, 201 yards with a pick. Like I tell my Seminole fans, he was not great in Oregon State. People remembering from Clemson. He's a guy that functions with a better running game. FSU ended up the game with 37 yards rushing as a team. The play calling on this team is horrible. The whole system seems something off. I was like telling the FSU fans, what are y'all doing? The one pass he finally threw down the field, he completed.
They're too busy chopping. That's what it is.
They completed a 67-yard pass down the field, but there's the one time they went down the field early in the second half. So FSU, plus they also lost 2 fumbles on the game and a pick, 3 turnovers there. So what is your thoughts as underwhelming? What does this say about the ACC, JT?
Oh, real quick before that, hail to Simply Steve. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Oh, I thought I said hi to Simply Steve.
Did you?
Sorry. Well, thanks for the reminder. I thought I did, but I might have gone past it. My brain's working 400 miles an hour.
Right. I think the ACC is just hot poo-poo on a platter this year. But hey, I don't like the ACC ever. Isn't Clemson struggling this year too? I'm trying to remember. On that, I've heard nothing from them at all. They are 13th in the ACC right now. So these powerhouse teams, it's like no. no. I don't fear playing the ACC right now either. So that's fine. That's fine. They play Clemson plays NC State tonight, and I don't care. It's yeah. So I think if you're looking at a Florida State matchup, I think Florida is the better football team out of the two, and Florida State's probably one of the better teams in the ACC. I don't know. It's going to be what I think they're going to be one of those conferences that gets pushed to the side, and it's going to be Big Ten, SEC, and then everybody else, and they're going to be in everybody else. So, and thank you, Mrs.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So, all right. Well,
I did want to just say right now that we did have where did it go? Tennessee is up on Kent State 37-0 now, in just starting the second quarter. So rocky top on that guy.
Yeah. So all right. Well, we will move on along with what we've got tonight. Rocky top. Let's see. 37 now. Yeah, exactly. Sisters of Poor. Kent has never beaten a team from Tennessee, actually. So exactly. And I can see why Atwood's frustrated. Second quarter is almost half over, and Kentucky still leads 3-0. Brock Vandegrift is a former Georgia quarterback. We'll look into that a little bit further. North Carolina State struggled to beat Louisiana Tech tonight. The Coastal Carolina transfer McCall left the game with an injury. Looking around the rest of the country, Iowa did pull away from Troy, 38-21. Troy was ahead at one point in this game. Arkansas struggled, but pulls away from UAB by 10 points in a game that's closer than it should have been. Let's see. And
I was curious about your thoughts. Sorry.
I'll tell you real quick though, JT. I'm worried about your team. Y'all beat Prairie View 40-0. That's like, I mean, y'all should have won by bigger than that.
Honestly. Well, yeah, they had the highest spread in a decade at 48.5 points. The problem was they were having some issues with penalties again this week. They would have had an interception return. I think it was like 60 some yards for a touchdown. But after they, after they had that score, it was called back because they ended up hitting A&M's quarterback in the head, which is a big no-no. You can't rough the passer and hit him in the head. So, that got called back. There was a good amount of things called back that I'm not sure how well the officiating job was this week. I had to listen to it on the radio because, of course, our local Fox affiliate, which is a major Fox station in Detroit, doesn't show Michigan State A&M. They show that on Fox Sports, which is a premium tier thing. No, we have to watch the Oregon game on our local Fox affiliate. Yeah, not the game that's 50 miles up the road. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
I'm
going to get on a rant here. I'm going to get on a stupid rant and say, damn it,
territorial.
ABC, CBS, Fox, get your head out of your ass and put some of these local games on local stations. I went out to the store because I was like, I can just put it in earbud and listen to this on the radio on my phone because that's all I'm going to do anyway. I went grocery shopping and I saw a ton of people in Michigan State gear that were shopping during the game. And you know what they're not doing? They're not giving any eyeballs to any of the advertisers on Fox 2, which is showing an Oregon game nobody cares about. And when you don't put that game that is local to the state, local to the region on a channel people actually want to watch it, you're not going to get the money for that. And then you say,
part of the Big Ten now, JT.
We don't get any money. We don't get any money. Well, that's because you're putting it on a rinky-dink channel that you got to pay $20, $30, $40 a month for that people don't want. And you know what? And it's BS. And then you get lower ratings for that Oregon game. And it's stupid. It's bad business. Stop being so petty. Every team has a down year. Michigan State was down last year because of the coaching scandal. Okay, that doesn't mean you penalize the team forever and always and put them on, Ocho 8. Okay, it's BS. It's BS. I'm tired of it. Stop. No, and next week's game's on the ACC network, so I don't even get to watch that one. Just F off. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Notre Dame beating Purdue. They wanted to hear Notre Dame again, JT. So 66-7, the biggest blowout of the day, Lemon Pie. I love the question. Simply C said, yep, TV blackout is still a thing. Yes, because even though I pay for the ESPN, get the ESPN Plus and stuff, the one game I could not access, which was kind of a surprise that I could still get Florida, I could not get the FSU game. It was on ESPN. But I don't know. It was weird. I love Doge. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. If you've got to like do premium tiers on optional packages just to watch the damn game, I'm sorry. No.
All right. Well, we're going to start to wrap up now. Let's get back to the top 25. Let's get back to current scores in progress or games in progress. Let's take a look at it because we're about an hour. I know JT's got somewhere to be in a little bit. We'll roll it down to top 25 first. Ball State's, Miami's rolling 62-0 over Ball State. Wake Forest is driving 3rd and goal at Mississippi's 21-yard line. Got to the 4-yard line. So we'll see if they go for it or they kick a field goal. We'll see. Come back to that in a second. Texas leads San Antonio at half, 28-7. 7 minutes in the second quarter left. Kentucky still hangs to a 3-0 lead. Nebraska, 23rd ranked, is now up 21-3 over Northern Iowa. Rocky Top is up 44-0 on Kent State with, a lot to go in the second quarter. Those are the top 25 games that are in action right now. Looking around the country, our buddy Mark, UConn's 1-1. They're actually challenging Duke 26-21. And down in Raleigh, I think, or Durham, South Carolina. So, let's see. Looking at games. Oh, this brought everything in. Go ahead. By the way, wait. Georgia State leads Vanderbilt in the third, 12-10. Wow. Okay, go ahead, JT.
My whole thing. Weren't you concerned about the Oklahoma State game against Tulsa?
No, not at all.
No, you weren't. Okay, I must have been thinking of another game. Maybe that was Utah State. There was some game in the middle of the country that I remember you had some reservations about, or was that Oklahoma Tulane?
It was probably BC, Missouri. That's the one in the middle of the country that had us kind of thinking about that. So,
well, another one of the state teams that I liked, Oklahoma State, did put up a good one on Tulsa, 45-10.
Wow.
It only put up those 10 points in the fourth quarter. Probably after Oklahoma was like, it's 45-0. We don't need to keep our starters out there. Yep. That's a real nice one. But Bowman, the quarterback, put up just shy of 400 yards with 5 touchdowns. Well, so that's another team I like. I know it's a small market team, but it's just one of these ones when you look around, you're like, oh, they're on TV. I like them.
Well, let's see. But here's the thing is, Hank Brown is making his first start for Auburn today, replacing Peyton Thorpe. And he's an 8-12, 115 yards touchdown. So Auburn leads New Mexico 17-13, nearing halftime. Still in a dogfight with an inferior competition, but at least, hey, Auburn's got a lead here for you Auburn fans here. So that's an item of note that happened this week. We've got, let's see, trying to flip back through these. So also there was another game that Toledo is leading Mississippi State 21-3 nearing halftime. Florida will still lose at Starkville, even if they lose to Toledo, who's 2-0 coming in. So if for you people said nothing good's in Ohio, well, Toledo is. So Whoopa Troopa, Baylor leads Air Force 6-3. Golly, what's horrible. Wade, your Colorado leads Colorado State nearing halftime 7-3. This is not like last year's fun game. So, and I think that's
it's a close game halftime. Eastern Michigan over Jacksonville State, 28-20.
Woohoo! All right.
Yep, got to get those directional schools in, Dad, man.
Exactly. Let me see one thing. We're going to go ahead. Yeah, go Rockets. Yes. Yeah, reservations about Oklahoma. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Steve. Yeah, Durham. Yeah, Durham. North Carolina. Let's see here. want to go.
Now, an interesting one in the Big Ten at halftime, Indiana's up on UCLA 21-7. UCLA's in the Big Ten this year,
Yep.
so I guess that's a Big Ten matchup, but these teams are kind of middling.
Well, here's something interesting. Not all these teams playing the conference are actual conference games this year. The Arizona-Kansas State game, which was two teams in the Big 12, was not a conference game. I believe it was scheduled prior to all the realignments, so it does not count towards the official stats for the conference standings. So,
oh, geez, yeah.
Before we wrap up, you remember the Pac-2? What? Oregon State, Washington State. They expanded this week. They added 4 teams: Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and guess what? San Diego State. So it is the state conference. That's what they should call it. So, hey, and I actually heard the Oregon State athletic director has said that they will expand further very quickly. So the Pac-12 is not dead yet, but the problem is it will never be viewed as a Power 5 conference again.
Oh, no. I regularly would expect that anyone outside of maybe Boise, well, see, even that's the problem. Which team just wipes the floor with the rest of their conference, and then you think they're a Power 5 conference bid into the playoffs? Because Boise State always gets passed up. Oregon State or Washington State, I don't see them doing it either. So who's left that actually has the TV draw, the history, and all of that to actually be declared a legitimate team?
Yeah, right.
I'm not seeing it.
I know they'll always have to work their way in like Notre Dame. Even if they have a conference champion, because I don't think they'll ever be ranked high enough in the polls to get. I think your MAC or your some of the like in Northern Illinois have a better chance because they have more likelihood of being ranked in the top 25. So
right
with the new playoff things. So
all right, word of Tulane moving over too. And some of these
they still do have transitional when they go from like FCS, which is the old 1AA to the 1A, the FBS. They do have some, like James Madison had to get a waiver to play in a bowl games. They can give waivers and stuff like that. But yeah, usually they have to. What was bad in March Madness is one time the Atlantic Sun had a team. They had a sucky team that, well, actually, I can't remember how well they did, but they were ineligible for NCAA. So in March Madness, in the small conferences, you have to win your tournament to get in. The team that was not eligible won the tournament, and guess what? They got nobody in the NCAA that year. That conference did. So, it's a bad thing. All right, so it looks like Mississippi Wake must have gone for 4th down and did not convert. So it's 23-6, still Ole Miss over. Still with 5 minutes left, folks. Watch that Georgia game. I'm going to be turning it on and watching that the rest of the time tonight. You got JT. Any final thoughts as we go to wrap up tonight?
Jeez. Just that Bucky should not be happy with that 28-18 win over Arkansas State. That I know we didn't really want to go that deep in depth into that game, but that is not a great win against a paycheck opponent. 10 points on a paycheck opponent is
but what
garbage.
Does Bucky always say? It's about cheap merchandise. It's a way to get cheap merchandise quicker. So
it is.
Look at her. Yes, I love
it. It is.
And Vandy's losing right now to Georgia State, so we'll see. I'll probably go to my mom's, get on the Georgia game, and watch the Vandy game on my ESPN Plus. So, hey. All right, JT, thank you. It's fun. We'll do this.
Yeah, folks. And thank you.
I think we'll be doing this fairly regularly. JT is subject to availability. Me depends on what's going on and things like that. So we'll see what happens.
I think we work something out. Yeah. I hope we can do this every week. It's a lot of fun. So
it was not a great week. Great if you're Florida, if you want to see FSU beat, but your team sucks. So, not really the upsets like we had last week, but hey, you never know with college football. That's why I call it much better than anything the pros, the NFL has ever given us. So you never know. Although it's now almost like the NFL because of all the NILs and transfer portals. So, all right, JT, thank you again. And all right, with that, you folks
Thank
have
you,
a
Devin.
great night. All right, and we will hope to see you. If we don't do another live stream, make sure. Oh shoot, I need to go through these streams here. Don't forget the misses. Remember, do not forget the misses at 10 a.m. tomorrow. For your daily dose of positivity. Not tomorrow, starting Monday. Hopefully she'll get back to the weekends once we get all the moving and all the stuff down here. So, but hey, look here was what is coming up is Wednesday. This week it'll be on Thursday night with Bucky. Join us for the SEC and Michigan College Football Weekly. Thursday, because I'm scheduled to be out of town working and get back Thursday. So I got a lot of work to do to help get the misses set.
It's okay. You can call an audible and do a line shift. Yep. That works.
Exactly. Oh, well, yeah, like Napier's offense. Shift. Anyway, so folks, come watch this. It's always a blast with a great Bucky. You never know what will come out, and it's always fun. And I tell you, Bucky's helping me enjoy football this year, and of course, JT with his input on Saturday nights. And also next Friday night, we're going to celebrate Agent Atwood's birthday, his 21st birthday, starting at 8:15. We'll be doing streams on all channels and then move over to his channel for Fortnite as the night goes along. So there's the morning muses for Mrs. 10 a.m. Chill chats or something as I go live at a random, because like I say, all my streams now are mostly random as I feel like. Late night with Dad, Man, and Friends. I'm trying to get the streams back up on Friday night. And I thank you for that. And hopefully you can make these again and we can get these built back up. Last night we was down a lot, but I know I took a break and had gone off a little bit and just, it's things happen and life happens, and hope to have everybody back for some random fun as we do it. Random fun with Fortnite with friends, with whoever I play with. Usually the misses, you never know. Maybe JT will pop in, but usually when I stream Fortnite, it's usually earlier in the evening, and I know you got duties, so that goes.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, live streams and videos, youtube.com, twitch.tv at DadManWalking55, also on Twitter at DadManWalking55. Catch me there, and we will talk to you later. Bye, all.